Jack the Courage to Live Self-Honestly. April 15, 2008. Transcribed and typed by Jack through the interdimensional portal. Date, April 15, 2008. I made a statement. Actual power is the courage to live here in self-honesty practically in this world in every moment of breath, which I will be placing into an example of practical application. It takes guts to live self-honesty, to be self-honest with self. Because we have for all of our lives adapted and conditioned ourselves to the norm of how I should be, adapted and conditioned ourselves according to those that have gone before us, we haven't actually lived who we are. We lived according to that which was already laid out before us. Fitting into a world, a society, a culture which accordingly shape ourselves, instead of living as the world as ourselves, one and equal here in self-expression. So, it's always been a fitting into and not a here in self-expression. And self-honesty goes against all conditionings, adaptations, acceptances, norms, fittings within and as you and your world, because self-honesty is directed towards self, not to others within your world, within this world, not to society, not to culture equals only self. Therefore, it takes courage to live self-honesty, and then to actually live self-honesty equals this is power. Because you are within your own hands, you are the directive principle within you and your world from within and as the starting point of self-honesty. Herein, a friction develop within you and your world, because you're no more fitting in or adapting, or constructing, or conditioning you to the reality created by those that have gone before you, by the norm. And it is within this friction as conflict that self-movement and movement of others and your world occurs. Friction is the mind-connected lines of relationship constructs within you towards your world in separation of you, that is, and will, detach within the living of self-honesty here. Because you are releasing you from the relationship you have with your world, and others within your world, within you, that predetermined who I am in any given situation, circumstance, event or experience. So, that who I am is not predetermined by relationships constructed of mind towards your world and others within your world in separation of you, but who I am is the expression of self here in self-honesty. What I have discovered within me is that the fear of being and living self-honestly is the fear of me being responsible for me. It's easier to fit in and condition and adapt self to the outside world, to outside beings, creating relationships of any and all kinds, because it presents the illusion of safety and protection, belonging to / in this world with others, to be the same to a certain extent. There exists a perception that self cannot be self-responsible, but require and need relationships for support towards others, towards this world, but here we have self-forgiveness, breathing, self-corrective application as support for and as self to live self-honesty here as self one and equal with and as life here in every moment of breath. So, a practical example of power being the courage to live self-honesty here is to start within yourself, as yourself. To observe you in participation within you and your world, power is the courage to live self-honesty with and as self. For being self-honest with you and being certain that you'll be self-honest with you no matter what equals, then you'll be certain that you'll be self-honest with those within your world as you, no matter what. Always self first. Be careful of the tendency to want to project self-honesty towards others, without first being absolutely certain that you have established self-honesty within and as you absolute, no wavering, no uncertainty, no doubt. An example of self-honesty towards self, if fear is experienced within self towards someone, accepting and allowing fear would be self-dishonesty, blaming the other for initiating the reaction as fear would be self-dishonesty. Having thoughts as excuses within the mind for why the fear exists is self-dishonesty. Continuing to exist within the fear towards a particular being within you is self-dishonesty. Why? Because you're accepting and allowing it to continue, you have the ability to stop the fear in the moment and say, no. No more. I will not exist in this fear, I refuse to, this is not who I am. So, why, in this simple example, is it courage to live self-honesty? Because you are living courage to stand up within you in self-honesty as a living statement of who you are here. Power is in simplicity, in the most seemingly small points / irrelevant moments, where you stand in self-honesty within and as you, and not accept / allow the continuation of self-dishonesty as participation in the mind. Be careful of wanting to go too big with regards to self-application, Begin here with self in practical application in the moment within this world as you participate. So, there are many opportunities within your world, within which you participate where reactions are still brought forth within you. See such moments of reactions within you towards something or someone as an opportunity to be self-honest with you, to actually live courage in such moments, and will you to be self-honest, and not take the seemingly easy way out as continuing in participation of the mind and justify and excuse and give up, but live the power that is you, be courageous and dare you to be self-honest with you in the most simplest of moments within this world, your world. Jack.